All right, brothers and sisters, good morning. I know it's been a few days since I've been on here. I've been reading every day. I just haven't had a chance to post anything. Forgive me, I am sick as a dog. You can see I am jacked up. I went to a men's retreat this past weekend. You know, men from different states: Wisconsin, Minnesota, Illinois, South Dakota, Kansas, Iowa. They all showed up, 590 some men. It was an amazing event. My son went with me, my youngest son, and it was just so awesome to see the Lord move in him. Talk about a faith booster, you know, seeing my son grow. Sorry, I had to pause it real quick. Seeing my son grow and seeing evidence of the Holy Spirit move, you know, within my son and many men there. But I knew there'd be attacks. There's always attacks when you go to retreats like that. And I thought it'd be spiritual, but it was physical. I ended up picking up a virus of some sort. I had fever, fatigue. All my bones are aching. It's like arthritis throughout my whole body. I've been very fortunate the last 2 days, today and yesterday off, but I have to go back to work tomorrow. So, but I'm in the Word. And this morning, as we are in 2 Peter chapter 3, Peter writes, Therefore, beloved, looking forward to these things, be diligent to be found by him in peace, without spot and blameless. And the verses prior to this were speaking about how God is going to dissolve the whole earth, you know, and the day of the Lord is going to be a very wrathful day of judgment where everyone shall die and burn who are not of him. He's like, knowing that you know, all that's going to dissolve, so we have a new heaven. He's like, make sure that when God finds you, when he finds you in peace. And that's kind of been the theme this year. Isaiah 26:3, you know, the Lord shared with me, for he will keep you in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on him, for he trusts the Lord. And again, just like right now, as I'm sick, my body hurts, and you know, I'm by myself, so no one can cook for me, no one can wait on me, no one can tend to me. So I got 315 pounds. I got to get up and do things and feed myself and all these different things, which, I mean, praise God, I got the ability to do so. I thank God for this sickness. I thank God for the fever. I thank God for this test. You know, my bosses and all of them who are very understanding and loving towards me. God has given me mass favor, not only in him. I'm very spoiled in the Lord. When my Abba loves me, he loves me and blesses me so much. And that just brings me a joy, you know, it makes me smile. It's like, man, my daddy loved me more than, you know, your daddy loved you type of thing. You know, I guess I can boast in God's love, God's goodness, boast in the goodness of God, even though I'm sick and my body hurts. It's just my flesh, my body that's in pain, not my spirit. My spirit is still sound. My spirit is still down to go and fight the good fight, you know. So as I sit here and listen to what Peter's saying, he's saying, you know what, man? He's be diligent to be found in peace. And as I just wake up this morning, just aching in pain and just, trying to get up and use the restroom, and it's just all the pains, even to sneak and wipe myself, just to reach back, like, sorry about that, I'm just being real. And to get up, brush my teeth, you know, just like, you know, it sounds kind of weird coming out of my house, I guess. I didn't think about that. The neighbors are probably thinking, isn't he by himself? Those are woman sounds. I'm sorry. Oh, God. Oh, sorry. David, knock it off. All right, my bad. All right, let's try this again. It's my spirit that is still alive and well. It's just my body has fallen apart. So technically, I am at peace with what God is doing in my life. You know, and he's like, without spot and blameless. And as I shared with you, this last weekend, me and my son went to a retreat, and this pastor who was on fire, on point, he was sharing about the different men, 8 different kinds of men after the fall of Adam, you know, and he kind of shared about, as he was describing certain men, I'm like, nope, that's not me. Oh yeah, like, nope, that's not me. And then he got to the angry man. And I was like, fool, I don't got an anger issue. Never had, won't ever. And as he described the angry man, I just started my jaw dropped, like, what do you mean? And then the Lord spoke to me immediately. As I shared with you when I got locked up for the OW, he tugged on me and he extracted alcohol and he said, "This is your last external vice, son. We're going to go internal now." And as he's working internal, he's working on my purity, my desire to remain faithful to him and faithful to one woman. I was very flirty before, and I realized the problem to cause, and I can't take it back, but I can change that, which I have, just total, I understand. Well, faithfulness to God is faithfulness to my spouse, But then he told me, we're going to work on your anger. And I'm like, I don't got an anger issue. And as this pastor was describing the things of anger, the Lord spoke to me immediately. He's like, son, so you are very angry. But see, I'm not violently angry. When people get angry, they punch holes on walls, they cuss people out, they get in their face, they get abusive, they get aggressive, they start hitting each other, and they throw things. And I was never like that. My mom and dad were like that, and it was very ugly watching that. And to myself, I wouldn't ever do that. But what I do is I'll walk away and go hit the weights. When I was younger, I'd get angry and I'd go to a bar and I'd get into a fight in my 20s. I'd start fighting with people, 3 or 4 guys, just go and before the Lord, and I was very angry that way. When I came to the Lord, I started realizing that I've always had weights. I have weights in my house right now, and I'm always working out. And I'm like, why? It's just because of anger. And I realized that when I've come back to the Lord, every time the anger goes away and I stop working out as much and I start eating a lot. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, well, I thought I was doing good by not being physical. And that was a good thing because I would do something constructive. But the problem was I never came back to resolve the issue, or I never sat there and said, okay, why are you angry? What about that person made you angry? Why did me get angry? And it's just like, was it selfishness? Was it expectation? Is it bitterness? And it's just, the Lord really started working on me. Just like, oh my gosh, that's right. I used to have a problem with building people up and making them feel like there's something more than they are. And I would see them that way. And the fact that they wouldn't see themselves that way, I would get upset. And after, months of doing that and then them turning on me, I would go back to self-soothing, which was alcohol or drugs, whichever it may be. And God's like, you did the right thing by walking away. Yes. Yeah. You didn't get physical. Yeah. You got physical with the weights. Yes. But you never went back to resolve the situation. And that hit me heavy. And I guess that's probably why I'm sick today too, just so I can sit here and really chew on that. And I'm like, Lord, I'm angry, but how? I don't understand. And he just straight out told me, righteous anger, son. Practice righteous anger, but lower your expectations of people. My problem was when I would deal with people who were not addicts, I held them to a higher level, and there was really no room in my heart and mind for them to struggle or sin because they're sober. I'm like, you're being a prick. At least this addict is a prick, but he's an addict. He's chemically imbalanced. And you're sober and you're being a prick. You have no reason or right to be so. That's just who you are. And I'm seeing now that was wrong. Emotions are emotions and feelings are feelings. And I'm seeing now I was judgmental towards the people who were sober. And I started realizing that after my divorce, actually a little bit before my divorce, I started talking to some people and meeting some new people and just seeing, okay, well, they're drunk and this is why they're like that. Or they're on, powder, so this is why they're like that. They're on pills, this is why they're like that. They're on hallucinogenics, this is why they're like that. They're on mental health medications, this is why they're like that. They're sober, but they're acting like these fools over here. What is their issue? They're just punks. And I didn't realize that was being judgmental. And I would get upset with the sober folks because they weren't chemically induced. This is just their character, who they are. And I'm just like, oof, Lord, forgive me. People are people, whether they're high or sober, whether they're lost or found. And I would get angry at the sober people for acting a certain way because they had no excuse or reason in my mind, and my carnal, sinful mind. I see this now. In my mind, they had no excuse to do so. I held them to a higher level of respect and standards. And when I saw them act like that, I would lose respect for them. I'd be like, why are you acting like that? Fool, you have no reason to. You're just an ugly person. And I see that now, and I see how the Lord is doing a work in me. And I share this with you because I didn't realize I had an anger issue. If you'd call me in my teens when I was in high school, if you would call my house to see where I was at, I'd be in the garage working out for hours. I used to get a new punching bag every 6 to 8 months. I would tear it. I'm like, yeah, I'm working out. Well, I was working out my anger. And I see two of my kids very angry. I'm like, what's the problem, man? I'm not angry. Where'd they get that from? Must be their mom. Well, turns out this weekend, at the age of 48, my Father in heaven revealed to me that I have an anger issue and I've been going about it the wrong way. So as I sit here right now thinking, to be found by him in peace, I've been praying, Lord, give me the wisdom and guidance to take these steps and work out, to be mindful when I get angry and why I'm angry. And it turns out that anger is a personal issue. It's not because of other people. It's a personal issue, just like envy and greed and selfishness and blame shifting. It's all the individual, not others. You can still live a peaceful life in the midst of a chaotic world. You can still try to be righteous. He says it here in 2 Peter chapter 3, and righteous Lot, who was oppressed, by the surroundings. He still sought God. He was still compared righteous to those in that area. And my point is, I'm thinking about this morning, to be found by him in peace. And that's all I want, is to live a peaceful life now. Well, in order to live that peaceful life, I must sit here and recognize when I get angry, why am I angry, and how can I resolve that? So I hope this makes sense, brothers and sisters. I've been moving around, my body's been aching, yeah, I just keep me in prayer, keep me in prayer, and I have to work tomorrow. I'll get better. Yeah, I will. Again, forgive me. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a minister. I'm not a priest, deacon. I'm just sharing with you how it ministers to me. I'm sharing with you how it ministers to me. This is not interpretation. This is the application portion. And even though Peter is talking about being steadfast in your walk, it just reminded me of a conversation that God had with me this weekend about revealing that I had an anger issue. And again, I was never a violent person. Even when I was drunk, I'd get upset after once in a while, and I would, and then I'd lash out here and there, but never laid a hand on a person. Never threatened people. That's if you know me, you know me. Anywho, it was wrong by working out constantly, fueling my workouts by anger. Anyway, brothers and sisters, peace be with you. May the joy of the Lord be your strength. I'm just being vulnerable and open with you all. Pray for me as the Spirit leads, and I'll pray for you. Remember, choose wisdom over the world. God bless.